Hello and welcome to another Python video. Today is all about lists. So we're going to be talking about different lists. So as you can see, here is a list. It's created by, it's basically like a variable. So your name, the equal sign, and then in square brackets, and you put your list items. And if they're obviously strings, you put them in quotation marks. Now, so I've created different data types that can be included. So it can be string type variables, int types, and true, false. As you can see, they'll come back. So I think before we move on, just practice creating some strings. And so what we're doing here, and what we'll be using for the next little while, is these names, grades, and these pass fails. So we've got 6 names, 6 grades, and 6 pass fails, and they're marked by true or false. Okay, so now that we've practiced creating lists, we have these two functions, the println and the print type. Now the println will give you the length. So as you can see here for the names, we have 6 items, so it'll come back as 6. And then the print type, like with any variable, will show you the type of the variable. For lists, it'll always come back as list because it's a list. Now we're going to talk about getting items from variables. So if you just want to get a single item, you put print bracket the name of your list, and then pick the index of the item that you want to pick. Keep in mind that the first item in the list is always 0. So see here, Annie would be 0, and if we wanted to get Emily, we would say 2. Oh, and you can see we've got that. And then, just like with getting letters from a string variable, if we want to get, like, say, the first two letters, we would say 0 to 2. And if we wanted to get the last 4, we would say a 2 on. And then if we wanted to get from Samuel, if we wanted to get from Emily to Isabel, we would say 2 to 5. And then the command that you're seeing here is used to change variables. So, for example, if we want to change the first 2 names to Joan and Samuel, we would say name 0 to 2 is equal to Joan and Samuel. And then we can also do that with the grades and change it to 77 and 80. And reminder, you can do this with a single item in the list or with both. So before we get started on the next thing, I'm going to let you work on that. Okay, so this next part here is adding and removing items to lists. So what we're going to use is these 3 shopping lists: our shopping list for metros, our shopping list for staples, and look at some of these methods. So the first one we're going to look at is the append method, which will add an item to the end of our list. So for our shopping list for Metro, we have onions, chicken, and potatoes. Well, if we want to add tomatoes to the end of it, we go shopping list Metro dot append parentheses is quotation marks tomatoes quotation marks parentheses, and then as we can see, we would end up with tomato on the end. So, and then the next method that we're going to look at is the insert method, which is used to add an item to a specified point in the list. So if we say at one pencil case and we're adding to the staples list, it would add the second item in that list would be a pencil case. And then the last thing we're going to look at is the extend command, which we're going to use to join our Walmart shopping list and our Metro shopping list. So we have a shopping list, Walmart, and then .extend, and then we have our parentheses, we name our list shopping list Walmart, and we've joined those lists. So you can see here that it's joined the two lists together. So be sure that you're able to do that, and then we will move on to the next part. And so the next part of this lesson that we're going to talk about is sorting items in a list. So we're going to talk about 3 methods that we can use to sort, and so we have 3 more lists. So we're going to take data we collected from, not actually, but that was collected from a random survey. So we have the names of the survey takers, the ages of the survey takers, and whether they answered true or false to whatever question was being asked. So we have our names: John, Natalie, Amy, Sean, Adam. Their ages are 44, 19, 37, 60, and 28, and they answered true, true, false, true, false. So now let's get into the sorting methods. Now, the survey taker names and then .sort and empty parentheses. This means that we are sorting them alphabetically. So as you can see here, Adam, Amy, John, Natalie, Sean, in alphabetical order. And again, all of these can be done with true or false, int variables, and strings. And then we see what we're doing with the ages. We have the same start. Survey taker ages .sort, and then say reverse equal to so that means it's going from like highest to lowest, or oldest to youngest, Z to A. So as we can see, you get 64, 40, 60, 44, 37, 28, 19. So that's done by putting in your list name, .reverse, and then empty bracket, or .sort, sorry. A parentheses, reverse is equal to true, and then closing parentheses. And then the last method that we're going to use is the reverse. So that command is used to flip around the answers or the items in a list. So let's say if the items in a list were 1 to 0, it would be 0 to 1. If the answers in the list were an apple. So as you can say, we put whatever your list is named, .reverse, and then empty brackets. Okay, so I recommend we take some time to look over this and practice doing this. And then I will explain what we're doing next. Alright, so starting this week, we're going to start working on our final project, which is using Python for statistical analysis. Now you're going to find a statistic, whether it be from, the government or a weather report, and you're going to use Python to analyze it. I suggest sorting items, using operators to find the mean, median, and mode. Maybe finding data types, comparing it to other statistics, and finding the length of the list using Python. Another thing I would suggest, let's say you're doing something like weather reports, it could be an ongoing thing. So every week you could add the temperatures and the humidity rates to your list. And at the end we can kind of see that. So I am going to link a few good websites for statistics in the chat, and ask any questions you have. If you want to do something, and ask me and I can help you, and have fun coding. And also remember to save your work in a Google Doc. Never forget that.